My student reminded me that Pi Day was coming up, so I decided, why not celebrate this day by making a caramel apple pie? Now, I like my pie with a lot of apples, so I've used 6 pounds of apples in my pie, even though most apple pies don't have that many apples. If you continue to watch the video, you'll also see why homemade pies can be pricey. I don't make many pies, but even if I did, without the commercial machinery, it can take a long time to make one pie, never mind the cost of all the ingredients. However, this pie is worth both the effort and the cost. I start by making the crust, where I place 240 grams of all purpose flour, 6 grams of salt, 11 grams of sugar, and 220 grams of butter into a food processor. Chill the flour and put the butter in a freezer for about 30 minutes before you make this. I process it until the butter is in pea-sized pieces, and then I add a half a cup of ice water and 1 teaspoon of lemon juice. Process this a few times until it comes together in your fingers. It will kind of look like sand. Don't leave the processor on, but just pulse the dough. Dump the dough onto a larger piece of plastic wrap and then use the edge of the wrap to smush the dough together and then outwards, as I do in the video. This helps to incorporate the butter and make the dough flakier. Place the dough in the refrigerator. I bought 6 pounds of apples, some Granny Smith, some Honey Crisp, and some Cosmic Crisp. I find that a mixture of apples makes the pie even better. It ended up being slightly tart and sweet without being overbearing. Peel and slice the apples and then cover with lemon juice. When you're ready to cook them, coat them with some flour. This is your thickening agent. Make your caramel by melting 1 or 2 tablespoons of butter and adding 1 to 1.5 cups of brown sugar, a pinch of salt, and any other spices. Here I added cinnamon, clove powder, nutmeg, ginger powder, and some vanilla. I also added a little salt and put some heavy cream into the caramel. Stir while the caramel thickens until it coats your spoon. Add your apples. I had to do it in 2 batches because I had so many. They will weep and shrink, which is why you need to have so many to begin with. Keep stirring them in the caramel mixture until they are more tender and slightly bend without being mushy. The flour will make the caramel thicken again. I removed the first batch of apples and was left with some caramel in the pan. Then I added a splash of orange juice, some lemon zest, and a little more brown sugar and put in the second batch of apples. Once those were also done, I removed them. The apples were placed in another colander and some of the sauce fell through into another bowl I had placed underneath. I put that sauce back into the pan and cooked it until it thickened. The apples were cooled down before I placed them into the pie shell that I prepared in a 9-inch pie tin. I also put the thickened caramel on top of the apples and added some crushed up Heath bars to the top before placing the top crust on and covering with egg wash. For a taller pie like this, I would bake it for about 50 to 60 minutes at 350 degrees Fahrenheit or until you can see the filling bubbling through and your crust browned. More shallow pies can be baked for 30 to 35 minutes. Cool your pie down before you cut into it. Unfortunately, some of my video clips did not make it into the video because I had transfer issues from my phone to my computer. I can't show you the assembly of the pie, but trust me when I say that after I put the top crust on it, it was at least 4 inches tall. I'm so frustrated that I couldn't show you the assembly, but here's the final product. Not the prettiest pie, but it was delicious. Happy Pie Day, everybody!